And welcome to the premiere episode of the Nerdified podcast. I'm your host, Paul, and today we have a very special guest. Very special because he was available. Not to, but not to say he's not a valued guest. I have with me Morgan. He is like my nephew, and he is also a big Marvel fan and somewhat of a DC fan, I would say.
A little bit.
All right. So, wow, this is episode 1, Morgan. You're like on the
Right.
flagship. Like I don't have champagne to.
If there was a champagne bottle we had right now,
Yeah,
it'd
no,
be
I
popping out.
don't. We don't have that kind of
Yeah,
budget
no.
on this podcast. All the budget went into the equipment. So we're gonna kick it off. James Gunn gets hired back to Marvel.
Honestly, I'm really happy about that because he intertwines the music with the scenes up almost perfectly, and I don't think anyone else could do that.
Do you think Disney rushed to judgment at first with the tweets?
To bring him back or to
No, to let him go in the first place.
I feel like they did just a little bit. That's just because after they tied off Volume 2 and that ended. It was pretty good. I liked it.
Right.
But as soon as they said, they cut him, that was when the actors started tweeting out like,
Well,
this is such
Batista.
Batista
was
Batista
like
was the
livid.
first. Yeah, he's like, basically said, I love this dude. I love the way he directs these movies.
Right.
No one else can do it.
Like I'm pretty sure if he wasn't under contract, he'd have bounced.
Oh,
He'd be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not
No,
co-
if he
I'm
didn't
not,
sign-
I'm not coming back as Drax.
Yeah, if he did not sign that, 9 or however many movie contract he signed, he would have been like, you cut him. There's no
Speaking
Drax.
of which, I think they were talking about how Brie Larson, she signed like a 7 movie deal.
7 or 8, yeah, I think it was 7 or 8, and
Hmm.
Kevin Feige has stated for multiple occasions that like Tony Stark, like Robert Downey, he was the flagship through like Phase 1.
Oh yeah, he was the
through
grandfather.
Now they're saying that Brie Larson is gonna be the flagship character because she's the most powerful or whatever. When it's gonna be a little difficult because some people.
It doesn't make any sense for have these people not be in future movies. Now,
Yeah.
are they going to be like? Are they going to be top billing? Are we going to get another Iron Man? Probably not. You know
Most
what I'm
likely
saying?
not. Not unless he really wants to do another Iron Man movie. Then
I really don't see him doing another, like an Iron Man 4. But I do. I don't see why he would leave.
Well, yeah.
Like altogether.
I feel like the main original cast, like Robert Downey, Chris Evans.
Hey man,
I
take
feel
a break.
like
Take a break.
yeah.
Go off. Do another Sherlock Holmes movie. Do whatever the
yeah.
hell Chris Evans wants to
Well,
do.
I think they're gonna start doing more. They're gonna be more of a backdrop character, or they're gonna be more.
Which is what
what
the Tony Stark character has done. He's been kind of like, that's the reason why Spider-Man Homecoming did what it did.
Yeah.
Was because you had Tom Holland and you had this new Spider-Man, and all of a sudden
And a young one too, and he killed it. Like that was a good one.
and then all of a sudden you have Tony Stark kind of like reining him in because I just don't it don't make any sense. Like let him take a break, let him go off and do other projects. I mean because they.
Well, I think Chris Evans has stated before that he's gonna start doing more of like cameos, like Stan Lee did.
Well,
He's gonna start-
no, and that's good. He doesn't have to carry a movie,
No.
and
Well, we got the young Avengers now that can carry that.
well.
They've
that
did
remains
pretty
to be
well.
seen. I don't know how they're going to formulate that because people get rooted into like these characters, right?
Yeah.
Captain America, Iron Man, and I think they've done really well how they've kind of moved Iron Man out of the forefront,
Yeah, he's
but
kinda
still
more
keep him
backdrop.
relevant.
Yep.
And I think they could do that with Chris Evans too as Captain America, but I don't want him to totally go away.
Yeah, I don't want to see the original cast.
Yeah,
I don't know.
a couple years down the road, doing whatever, passion projects, artsy
Yeah.
projects, and then next time he looks at his bank account and he's like, "Yo, what happened?"
I need to hop
Kevin
on this,
Feige's
hop
like,
on this Marvel.
"What you need, bro? How many zeros? I'm gonna write that check right now. We'll get you back into an Avengers movie."
Well, the reason this universe is so big now is they fired off and they went full force with Iron Man because if
Right.
Iron Man did not do as well as it did,
No, it was a gamble for sure.
Oh yeah, no, this was like they're like we kind of need some more money.
Yeah. Well, I think they struggled with trying to get everybody on board to have
Yeah.
Robert Downey
awesome
Jr.
universe
as
now.
Tony Stark, but now 10 years later, you couldn't imagine anybody else being
Well, dude, he
Tony Stark,
said
Iron
it
Man.
on I forgot, one of the Jimmy Kimmels, one of the Jimmy Fallon's, whatever. He said that role, where it was, there was nowhere else but up for him. There was
Oh, of
he
course
was-
not.
Yeah, he
Of course,
kills it.
there
in
was
this
no
role.
other. Yeah, exactly. There was no other direction for him to go other than up.
Yeah.
And whoever his agent is,
Oh,
that fool needs
Oh,
like
yeah.
I don't know if they give out Oscars for agents,
They need to
but
start giving them
Robert
out.
Downey Jr.'s agent deserves an award
His
on his
acting
own.
needs the first Oscar for.
You got a guy that's get what I think he was something like $10 million just for
think.
his. He wasn't even a main cast member on Homecoming, but they were like, "Yo, we're gonna put Tony Stark in here," and he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it. I'll be in Spider-Man."
Well, yeah, I mean, if you get RDJ, like I've said before, you get
Start-
people like that.
Where's
know,
Kevin
Yeah.
or whoever? Sony.
He's like, yo, Kevin.
Yeah,
You kind of need that check going.
start writing that shit out. But no, and okay, so we're gonna transition into the Endgame trailer. And you've seen it, right? I just watched it like an hour ago.
I've watched. I'm one of those guys that I've watched it already 4 or 5 times.
I think I watched it 3 times. I haven't said I've done it 5 times, but so it starts out with a kind of homage to the prior 10 years.
The Snapshire,
The Snapshire,
Dustin.
shows Tony out in the desert with his first Iron Man suit. Shows
that
Captain America becoming Captain
and
America.
it shows Thor with his.
Shows Thor with
the
Odin.
living Odin.
Before he lost his damn mind and Odin had to check his ass. And then it goes into so from what you saw in the trailer, what do you think? Time travel, quantum realm?
Well, if they do the quantum realm theory, like my theory is those suits at the end, the white and red and
Right.
gray
When they had all
suits,
those toys and everybody's
It
like,
ma-
no,
yeah,
that's not
it
that's
matches-
not in the movie.
it matches perfectly with the suit that Hank Pym used to go.
Oh,
on Ant-Man
yeah,
and the
what he
Wasp
wore
when he
when he
to
went
go
in
to
after
quantum
Janet.
realm. Yeah,
Yeah.
when he goes to save. So I think
So the running theory is that they're going to be in the quantum realm.
without Hank Pym,
That's a
I think-
mouthful. Say that shit 5 times.
right?
The
But I
quantum
think,
realm
without Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne now, because we've all seen,
and
Hope,
and
they
Hope
got
Van Dyne.
dusted. Feel like he's gonna have that.
I was
that,
calling her Hope Van Dyne piece. She's good
for
looking.
real. But I feel like we didn't see it because Ant-Man, still he's like, well, what the hell happened? And
Right.
I'm right here. So
Yeah,
I
it's got to
feel
be. I guess whenever he gets around to figuring out how to get the hell out of there, because he went into the realm.
he did. Yeah, he did it in the
You
first
know,
Ant-Man, and he figured out how
well,
to come out.
I think that was luck too. And his second time around, he's like, "Well, I got like 3 super smart people
Yeah.
that's gonna bring me out of this, so I don't,
well, I
fucking."
think eventually, after before they get those suits, he's gonna give Tony Stark, which is basically the equivalent of Hank Pym right now, because he's dusted. So he's gonna give him that.
I think they got to pull all resources.
Well,
I
they
think.
have to.
I think as far as Wakanda, as far as Hank
Well, it
Pym,
looks like from what I've seen, Wakanda's receded back to inside themselves now. They're not, not
Right.
helping the world right now. It was from what it looks like.
yeah, but they still have it in with Cap.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, he knows Cap.
Yeah.
Bucky's not there. He got dusted away.
But I feel like if they do use the quantum realm,
If they
there's
go to
gonna be
Shuri,
time travel
yeah, if
because
they go to
said in,
Shuri and they say, "Look, there's a chance we could bring your brother back,"
oh, she's gonna.
she's gonna open up
100%,
everything.
yeah.
Whatever vibranium you need, whatever equipment you need.
I mean, the time travel theory kind of goes entwined with quantum realm because there's those time vortexes that Janet said for Ant-Man to watch out for because he
Right.
gets sucked in another time. So it's either he's gonna get out through that, or somehow he's gonna get lucky again and come out and.
Well, I
sounds
mean,
like him.
I don't see his character as like being. I mean, he's a smart guy,
Yeah.
but he's a smart guy like in his own
Well, he
lane.
also-
I don't think he is up to
these
speed
movies,
as like
we
with the
kinda see
quantum
him-
technology
yeah.
and all that shit.
We kind of see him use his smarts every once in a while, but I feel like he's one of those characters that he has the smarts. He just wants to play off like he's not dumb, but not as smart.
Well,
as
he's
other
not going to
characters.
be. He's just not going to put himself out there as like
Yeah.
he's super smart. He's just going to hang back and see what happens. And it's like, well, now he's in trouble.
Yeah.
He's stuck in the quantum realm, and he's got to find his own way out. So now he's got to work the problem. He
Yeah.
don't have anybody to take up the slack.
Yeah.
He's got to do his own work to get out of there.
Yeah.
And to me, I think that's what happens, especially in the trailer where they show him kind of
Looking at
who
that
knows.
telephone post.
Yeah,
Who's all like, what the?
who knows how long, how much time has passed.
Well, see, I think because we saw Black Widow short blonde hair.
Right.
And in the beginning of the trailer, I feel like it's like right after Thanos snapped his fingers. Because she still has her short hair. They're in the mansion, they're kind of chilling. So she still has her short hair.
See, I mean, that's the confusing part
But
because
then-
the Russo brothers are not giving you.
Nothing. The only
They're
thing,
giving you footage, but
Yeah.
you don't know where in context
see-
that footage is coming from.
Later in that trailer, we see her, with almost long hair with a little hint of purple. With a little hint
Red.
of blonde still.
Yeah.
And so I think there's going to be, maybe a couple months of a time jump just to show us what it would be like if that actually did happen.
I watched a video. I can't remember what it was, but they're saying that like it's not just one try. They're not
Oh, yeah,
gearing
no,
up
no,
for
no.
one try. It's
There's
like
multiple occasions.
like
they're trying
they've went at Thanos multiple times,
to-
right?
See, we also don't know. Okay, so we saw him at the end of Infinity War. He's at his little farm, just chilling, looking around. Like
Right.
he's happy. He's done what he said he was going to do.
Right.
We don't know if he ever leaves, though. So, they could.
No, they could go to him.
Oh, yeah. After, a couple of tries of finding him.
Right. They could go at him. They could.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that could be part of what you're seeing in the trailer. Is they're like,
Yeah.
oh, we found out where Thanos is. We're going for
Well,
him.
then,
and then they get over there, and
later in that
Thanos
trailer-
like, nah, son, and
I still got
starts.
the Infinity Stones.
Yeah, he
son.
starts handing out ass whoopings, and then now they're like, "Oh, we got to regroup because we went at him
Oh, yeah.
again."
And he kicked the ass.
And,
again.
yeah, and we're all still, getting our asses kicked.
But see, in that trailer too, they show. So we see a longer shot of Cap. Sheathing his helmet, looking like he's probably getting their asses kicked.
Oh yeah,
Looks
like strapping his shield back
Yeah,
on.
he's all-
yeah, he looked
then-
like he took a whooping.
yeah.
He took
And
an
then-
ass whooping
and then
for
we
sure.
see Ant-Man in his shrunken size, where everything's bigger, so it kind of
Right.
misleads us. We don't know if it's outside. I'm thinking they have a
Yeah,
fight
I-
with Thanos.
I mean,
at the
Wherever
the,
Thanos is, I don't think he just got pencils laying around. You know what I mean? He don't
Well, I
have a
feel-
number two.
well, I
You
feel
don't have a
like-
number two in his
yeah.
desk, to jot down notes.
I feel like for the first time they try to fight Thanos, that's his turf.
Right.
But see that clip we see of him, flipping that pencil, throwing himself. I feel like that's at the Avengers mansion. He came to them one time.
Oh
And-
yeah, he
see
kind of
it.
is like, oh okay, I know what you dudes are doing.
Yeah.
You're trying to undo everything
And
I
so
did,
since he's been
so he's
there-
gonna bring it to them. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna start bringing it home and start using that space tone.
But
a little bit more.
the common denominator in all those is that he's from what at least what we think is he's still using the Infinity Stones.
From what we know of, yeah. From
What we know of
yeah.
exactly, and
Well, we
so
also saw at the end of Infinity War 2, I keep coming back to this, but that whole right side of his body, his arm, that gauntlet is melted to him. He's scarred.
yeah.
up-
Even after
up
he
the
took
arm.
that axe to the chest, I mean
That took a
he
lot of damage from him.
he was still able to use the space stone and get out of there. So I mean he still could be formidable,
He's still got a
but
full set of Infinity Stones.
he's still
not a
formidable,
pushover.
but he's not going to be a pushover as far as like they're just going to roll in there and
Yeah.
get revenge. It's not going to work that way. Yeah. All right, so you've seen Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah.
What do you give it?
Ooh. Out of a 1 to 10 scale,
1 to 10.
I give it a 9. I really enjoyed it. I liked it.
Well, I posted on Facebook. I gave it an 8.5,
Yeah.
and I liked it. I mean, I did not enjoy it. I thought there was funny parts. I really liked
Yeah.
Brie Larson and Sam Jackson.
They played well off each other.
Their
I liked it.
interaction was really funny.
And I do give it. There is some slow parts to it. You're like, come on, like, pick it back up.
Well, in any movie, except for even in Infinity War, I mean, there was some slow parts, but it wasn't slow for long.
For
You
most
know what
part,
I mean?
that
I don't
movie
think
was
the
more-
Russo brothers could afford to have super long pauses. I
Well,
was
they've
thinking
already-
like, all right,
they've
catch your
confirmed-
breath. All right,
yeah,
what? Okay, we're good.
They've confirmed on Twitter.
We're gonna
think,
throw
that
planets
it's-
at motherfuckers.
They now have it like fully done. They're just doing stuff now. It's like 3 hours long now.
No, I can't wait. I want 3 hours. I think they have to do it 3 hours.
Yeah, because I mean, for the most part,
you got to
Infinity
give
War,
closure because
there
this
was-
is the bookend to Phase 3.
Oh yeah, this is Phase 3 is done. And it's now
Everything
time for
after
Phase 4.
Endgame is going to be Phase 4, right?
But see, Infinity War for me, it was more. It seemed to me more. It was more action packed. There was some fan service, given the Stan Lee cameo that we always get in
Right.
in all the movies. But other than that, I mean, there
Did you
was
tear
a
up?
few
Did you
slow-
tear up when you saw Stan all day, all
yeah.
day long in the Marvel in the beginning?
that new intro
Yeah.
logo? Oh yeah, I squirted a tear a little bit. I mean, every fan is if they're real.
Well, I guess for me too, like, because he had a little controversy toward the end of his life. He had
Yeah.
that dude, like his manager or caretaker, was kind of being a little funny with Stan's money,
Yeah.
you know. And I was like, that kind of shit makes me mad because
Well, now that he's gonna have to carry that the rest of his life now that Stanley has sadly passed. You know, he's
Yeah.
like, oh man, I did this guy wrong, but now he can't apologize to him. The only person he can apologize is maybe to his wife, but even then, she can still
No.
be like,
the dude should be, for somebody who's so beloved as Stan Lee, and then you're gonna be like, you know, jacking with his livelihood.
Yeah, I mean that's crossing the line for me too.
That's
messed
horse
up.
shit, you know. And so that's why it was a little sad for me, because it's like, you know, you would want Stan to go into the next world or wherever he's going, into the quantum realm, for all we know.
Yeah.
He, you know, to not have that kind of.
I loved his camo in this movie because I didn't notice this until I watched the video, but it was one of the script that he was reading was from Mallrats.
Yeah, did you see Kevin Smith was all crying? I would be too. I mean, that's really an honor.
I like the fact that you know when Captain Marvel or Veers, whatever her name was in that movie, she was looking for that scroll. She kind of just, you know, they both gave a knowing smile to each other.
Yeah,
we both
it's like wink, wink.
Yeah, like
Hey,
I know
Stan.
who you are, you know. Who
Yeah.
I am.
But no, I mean, I liked the movie. I gave it an 8.5. I think, and I really went in to this movie with no. Well, how can I say this? Like, you know, they were kind of taking what she had said, Brie Larson, out of context as
Yeah.
far as like how she wanted people to report on the
Well,
movie,
she
to
did,
review it.
There was already critics coming out, you know, when they first brought out that poster, like, you know, she's never smiling. And so
Right.
Kevin Feige was like, you know, put a smile on her or whatever. And she ended up going to every one of the Marvel posters. And instead of her smiling, she put a smile on everyone else. And, you know, that.
And
to
so
me-
I watched it with none of that in my head. I cleared it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to see it anyway because I knew that there was going to be a bridge between Infinity War to Endgame.
Well, yeah, we both knew going into the movie that it's going to tie in
at
to
some point.
Endgame or to Infinity War somehow, some way. It's
You know,
gonna be that.
even to Marvel's credit, they've really been tight-lipped.
Yeah.
But there's still people are just, you know, digging through the trash to find
yeah.
any
They're
little bit
trying to find
that they can
something,
put
find
out
something.
and try to spoil the movie. Or
See, when big movies like this come out, like Captain Marvel, the first female-led role,
right.
I try to go in there without looking at any video or whatever. Like, you know, like, oh, they
You
say
know,
this is from the comics.
we were talking earlier, you know, where it was like a lot of girl power, and I believe me, I have no issue with that.
No.
But I don't think it. I really thought it was unnecessary, because, you know, like I said, if I would have met Carol Danvers in a bar, and I'd have been like, "Hey, so what do you do for a living?" She's like, "You know, I fly experimental aircraft for the Air Force."
Like, oh shit.
Be like, "Yo, this lady's dope,"
Right?
You know, I don't think she needs to convince me anymore. I was like, "Yo,
No.
she's, you know, she's
Shit
got her
means
shit
business.
together." Yeah. So, and then, you know, the montage where it shows her at different stages of getting
Yeah.
knocked down and standing back up. I understand that from a cinematic point.
Yeah.
And
You gotta show your hero at your weakest point, and then even after her weakest point, she still stands up after all of it, dusts herself off.
you know,
That's-
even
yeah.
from the beginning when she was on Hala, and with the Star Force and with Jan Rog, I guess, who
Jude Law
Jude Law's
killed it in
yeah,
that
he.
movie. He was one of the shining stars in that
But
movie.
you know, he has a way of playing an asshole.
without being an asshole.
Well, but to me, he was playing an asshole, and I kind of figured from the beginning that there was something up.
Well, see, man, once you script Jude Law, everyone kind of knows if he's seen any of their movies, you know, he's at least a bad
Right.
guy almost.
He just has his way about him when he's up to something, that he plays that character, and it's really good acting
yeah.
because you kind of like,
You kind of hint at it, but then you don't. Yeah, and then the movie is like, oh yeah, he's also a bad guy now. So
well, I just saw a twist, especially when they were with the Supreme Intelligence or whatever they call it,
yeah,
and I
Yeah.
was like, there's something she's not on the
Well-
level. There's something hinky going on here too.
yeah. And I like that point that you know, when she went to go talk to her, you know, before the mission, they're like, oh yeah, you're going here to get this spy or whatever. So
Right.
you know, he told her, you know, when you go in, it's gonna show the person that you most admire. So for me, it'd probably be someone, you know, like you, Paul. Like, I looked up to you.
You're already on the podcast, Morgan.
And
no need to
and
butter it
so,
up even more.
And so she came in, she's like,
But I
well,
get it.
And she was like, well, who the hell are you? And so I kind of felt like the Kree was kind of like messing with her. They were trying to, you know, make it to where, because she still sees, because she's
Well,
seen the
even though she
Doctor in
didn't
her
remember,
visions.
even though she didn't
Yeah.
remember, you know, you still have shit floating around in your
Yeah.
subconscious.
Well, they can't control the brain.
no,
yeah.
it's
So I kind of like the fact that at that point, she was like, well, now I kind of want to know who this chick is. She's
And for me, when I saw that Ragnarok style disc on the back of her neck, like how they used to control Thor,
yeah.
and I was like, yo, why do they have to use that on Captain Marvel? I mean, they pretty much have her convinced.
Well, see, she didn't, after she, she shot that engine that was also powered by the Tesseract.
Right.
For some reason that, blanked her mind. She does not remember. As soon as that impact hit her, she doesn't remember anything for those 6 years that she was gone.
So what was that? Was that her and the Doctor? Was that with them kind of crossing over through when they got hit with that blast? Is that why she kind of picked up?
That's why Jan Rog picked her up. He was like, well, now that she doesn't
Because, they showed her with blue blood. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it could have affected her on a molecular level.
And so, actually, no, that blood is his blood. So, when she got knocked out, so Jan Rog was like, hey, she's basically a living weapon. Might as well bring her back to the Kree.
Right.
So when they brought her back to the Kree, I don't know, I kind of get the sense that
Oh, that's right. They infused her.
Yeah.
They gave her a blood
Yeah,
transfusion.
he was telling her, well, without my blood, you wouldn't be alive right now. But
Right.
we also don't know that for a fact. We don't know that for
No.
a fact because she took all that energy.
It could have been a part of their ruse
Yeah. Well, I
to
think
convince
it
her that
was.
she was Kree.
And they also try to convince her that they gave her those powers. They're
Right.
like, those powers that were given to you can also be taken.
Because if they were on the up and up, there wouldn't have been no need for all the the smoke and mirrors to
That's
keep
why
her keep her
They
tame.
had that control thing on it. So every time she was getting pissed off and try to use her powers, they'd be like, nope,
Yeah.
can't use those.
No, and then when she finally had enough, she went
took
like,
it off.
she burned that shit off and it was like, nah, I'm in control
I
now.
love how Jan Rog also tried to convince her to come back. He's like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud. Now prove to me you can take
Yeah.
me down without using your powers. She's basically said, bitch, I don't need to prove anything to
Yeah.
you. And she just,
Kapow. Go eat them rocks over there behind you.
until the Supreme Intelligence, I'm coming for them. Well, you can't do that. The hell I can't. And shout him out.
Well, we are at the moment of the time where we're going to come to the end on this Marvel side of this podcast. Morgan, thank you for filling in on short notice.
Of course, Uncle Polly. I'm always here for you.
And stay tuned because later on we're going to have the second half of this podcast for me and my buddy James. We're going to talk about the newest episode of The Walking Dead. Follow us at Nerdaphyte on Twitter, NERDAPHYTE. Also like our YouTube page and our Facebook page. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned.